much for taking the time.
No problem.
Awesome. How was your weekend?
It was good.
Yeah? Get up to anything in particular?
Just a lot of activities with the kids. Nothing too crazy.
How are the kids?
6, 4, and 2.
That's quite the Brady Bunch you got there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
That's great. Cool. Well, awesome. Well, thank you again so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. I guess just to introduce myself again,
Sure.
Mark Thysell at Aerotech.
Great.
We work with a variety of different kind of players within the energy industries. I think I mentioned on our phone call last week. We work with CPD directly.
Okay.
Also work with Gemma Power, who I know is the EPC on the site.
Yeah.
So we're just really kind of excited to kind of understand what your role is going to be at the Tewantic Energy Center.
Sure.
And how we can maybe continue to partner with them, but also partner with you and kind of bring our resources to bear for you.
Are you working with them directly?
We work with them directly. We haven't been supporting them on this project.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess it would be great to understand, because I know that you guys are one of the mechanical contractors on site there.
Yeah.
What's the kind of scope of work you're responsible for?
Yeah, we're doing design and installation on that facility. They're building out a new substation over there, and we've been awarded the project to support that design and build.
Okay. Great. Where are you kind of at in the terms of the project execution?
We're just starting. We're still in the design phase, so
Okay.
no, we don't have much labor going on right there now.
Mm-hmm.
We're targeting by July 1st, hopefully, to get through the initial design phase, get approval, and then start to be on site out there, getting the work done.
Gotcha. So July 1st, that's right around the corner, right?
Yeah.
How's that going for you? How's the design process going for you so far?
So far, so good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on track right now, but as you know, things change pretty abruptly.
Absolutely. So great. So you're on track for deadline right now, but you never know what could happen, that kind of thing.
Hey, this is one of many deadlines, right? So,
right. What are the kind of things that you could foresee as being potential, issues or hindrances to meeting that deadline?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of contractors doing work out there, so we're trying to navigate through kind of managing their work and what they're doing and where we fit into that whole grand scheme of things. So I think right now there's like 5 or 6 different companies doing various different work out there. So trying to navigate between in and around what they have going on and the work that they're doing.
Gotcha. And do you feel like the people that you have, on staff are well equipped to navigate that type of environment well?
To some degree, right? I think that's why I've been working quite a bit. Because I'm filling in the blanks there where
Right.
we can't, where we don't have the capability to get this stuff done.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. What's been the business impact of that? So I know you're working, I know a busy person like yourself, you're
Sure.
stressed generally. Is there anything that's kind of falling to the wayside because of that?
Yeah, I think we're a little light in our overall ability to manage the project. So we have one PM and one assistant PM that are kind of running point with hitting our deadlines and making sure from a design perspective we're on task.
Right.
And we've just they're lacking ability to kind of manage a lot of the other contractors and kind of integrate with where they're at in their project. So it's adding some stress for me because, like I said, on the phone I got to go to that site. I got a few other things going on at other sites. So whenever they need me to go and kind of put out a fire, it takes me away from other responsibilities that I have.
Right. And what would what's been the kind of worst thing that's happened so far, just so I understand what you mean by that? When you're putting out a fire, like what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, like with the design, so getting the proper approvals and certifications to be able to actually implement the design work. So
Gotcha.
they just don't have the skin that they need to go down to the government offices and to get the permits and to work through things that way.
Got it. Would it be, kind of beneficial to you to have somebody else with a level of expertise similar to yours who could, navigate that more effectively?
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, if we could find that, we didn't want to farm that out to one of our competitors because we feel like we could have a pretty nice pipeline of business coming from this site. So, like I said on the phone in the past, we've engaged some other engineering companies, and then we find out that they're bidding on other projects that we're bidding on, and kind of leveraging the fact that they had to help us against us. So, yeah, that's something that we want to get away from if possible.
Absolutely, and that makes a ton of sense. So for somebody like that who could kind of come into that space and give you that extra sort of lift, would you be thinking of that person as more kind of a permanent hire or more of a kind of a project-specific employee? Just to think about how you're thinking through that.
Yeah, I think at this point it would be project-based.
Okay.
See how things go with this, and if the work continues and this person can continue to identify business at this site, then obviously it would lead to more opportunity for them.
Gotcha. So if I'm hearing you correctly, it sounds like right now, if you were at somebody like yourself, it sounds like a PE'd engineer. I'm making an assumption here, but is that basically correct? So,
yeah, absolutely.
So a PE'd engineer like yourself who has experience doing the kind of design and permitting elements of the job, that would actually give you guys a lot of ability to really kind of take a lot of stress off of yourself and allow your project managers to do what they're good at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'd love to talk through that a little bit more. I guess is there anything else that you would want to kind of connect about?
I think that's the biggest issue that I'm having right now from a personnel perspective.
Okay, great. So in terms of that, so what are the other kind of qualifications you would be thinking about for this type of person?
Yeah, I think just someone who's navigated a similar type of project before. It seems like you're pretty up to speed with the type of work that's going on there. So someone that's been in that type of project, who's comfortable working with government agencies and also navigating through different subcontractors who are also doing work at this site.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense. So when you think about that kind of profile, how many years of experience do you think they need within specifically those project types and maybe also overall?
I think 5 years doing this type of work would be fine. Like, hey, if they only have 5 years, but it's 5 years, like since they've gotten their PE doing this type of work, then I think that they would be able to navigate through it. I'll still be here to support them. So it wouldn't. It's not like I need someone that has 25 years of experience. If we found that, great. But I'm not removing myself completely from this project. Once we find this person, I would be kind of just managing them and helping them and making sure that everything was up to speed.
Absolutely. And from a kind of a compensation expectations, what are you typically thinking about for somebody in this type of role?
Well, what do you think the market would demand for someone like that?
Yeah, great question. So, a 5-year PE, I assume you're going to have them sit out of your Manhattan office, or I guess let's talk about that. Where's the kind of ideal geographic location?
In and out of the boroughs, so Manhattan-based, and then the ability to get to various sites in and around, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx.
So Manhattan-based, but flexible and
absolutely,
no problem. So for somebody of that kind of skill set and qualifications, it's definitely going to be a range. Obviously, the more years and the more projects they have under their belt.
Sure.
But I would say that I've seen somebody with that skill set anywhere from 125, 130, all the way up to 160, 170. That kind of range, depending again on the years of experience.
Okay.
How does that kind of rough range sound? Maybe thinking about 125 for that 5 years.
Sounds like I got to put my resume on the market. I mean, 125, 130 is probably where we would need to be to find this person. That's probably where we would be able to get approval from a budget perspective.
Gotcha. And then in terms of budgeting, would you be able to do this as maybe a pass-through cost to your client, like because it's project specific?
That would be the ultimate goal. That's why if we could find this person, I could go focus on other projects. We are passing, some of the hours to the government for this project, so that's definitely an option.
Okay. Great. So then thinking.
Well, I just don't want to if we were to hire them full time, if they did a good job on this, price them out of where we could then afford to pay them.
Absolutely, and so to kind of talk about that, so part of how we work, we provide a couple of different service offerings, right? So if you want somebody that's just project specific, very happy to do that.
Sure.
If you want somebody who is more of a kind of that permanent type employee, we would call that like a contract to hire type opportunity. We can absolutely be super transparent with you in terms of what they're making and what we're paying them. So that when you go to bring them aboard permanently, there are no surprises, and you're kind of able to navigate that well.
Yeah, I think it would probably be that vehicle. Like, it's not to come in for 3 months and get work done. It's, hey, get work done now, but with the goal of them being able to continue to bring work our way and then join our team on a full-time basis.
Right. Great. Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to kind of talk through next steps on this type of engagement and go from there. Do you have any questions for me before I jump into that at all?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you can find this type of person, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely something that we do all the time. So I'm happy to kind of get into that. So In terms of next steps, what I would want to do is send you over our agreement. I don't think I've sent that your way yet.
Okay.
Just kind of standard terms and conditions. Want to see what questions you have about that, and then as soon as kind of get that back, we're happy to start dedicating our resources to finding this type of person for you.
Perfect.
No cost to you up front. There's no cost until we kind of find that person. In terms of that kind of stuff, I can get that over to you today, and then
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I wouldn't read through it. I got a bunch of other stuff. I'll have my my legal department take a look at it, and then based on what they tell me, I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great.
I could probably connect you directly to them if that's because like I said, I'm in the field. I'm all over the place. So if that's the first step in us working together, then I'll just connect you with them and get them engaged with you, so you guys can work through the contract language and whatnot.
That sounds perfect, and I'll send an email to GCC, but I'll reach out directly to them.
Okay.
Who's the right contact within legal there?
Susan Pierre.
Okay. Great. I know a Susan actually. It's
Really?
yeah, it's one of the best people I know.
Oh,
Actually,
great.
so. That's great.
Ours isn't that. So.
That's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Just get ready for that.
Yeah, right. I appreciate the heads up, man. I appreciate the heads up, Bates. What's Susan's contact info?
spierre
Okay.
@abc.com.
Okay. And does she have a direct line, or do I just call in?
It's extension 2121.
Okay. Great. I'll definitely reach out to her today, and CC to keep you in the loop here.
Perfect.
Bring base.
Yes.
You do have a meeting shortly.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, really for your time here.
Great.
And we'll be going. Excited to reach out to Susan and go from there. In terms, I guess, the final thing I would just be curious about, who else within NACE would you recommend? I mean, excited to talk to Susan.
Yeah, sure.
But are there any other kind of project managers or people of your kind of level in NACE that I might be able to work with?
Yeah, I think there's some value if you could find us good people, but
Yep.
let's get this agreement in place first.
Okay.
And then once you kind of have terms and conditions to work with our company, then we'll go from there.
Okay, I think that makes total sense. I think the final thing I'd love to do is just set a follow-up meeting.
Sure.
Just because I know you're busy, I'm busy,
Yeah,
things get away
absolutely.
from us. When would be a good time to reconnect and kind of discuss any lingering questions that we might have not resolved about the kind of service agreement?
Well, why don't you touch base with me by next Friday?
Okay.
Just to see the progress that we're making on this. If you hear back from Susan sooner, then reach out to me. Definitely keep me kind of in the loop as to what's going on with the contract, and then that'll trigger kind of the next steps on my end.
Nick, so that should work for me, but
Sure.
I know how busy you are, and
Yeah.
how you said that this is really kind of the amount that you're having to work and the amount you're spending is kind of driving you crazy. Do you have any availability kind of before that to touch base and kind of continue to work through it so that we can start working on this right away for you?
Yeah, I just think like that's going to be.
That's the best time.
We'll get the agreement first.
Okay.
Hey, if that happens tomorrow, then call me tomorrow. If that
Okay.
happens Tuesday, then call me Tuesday.
Okay.
Once you get that contract signed, then we'll figure out time to meet to talk through the candidates that you have. But yeah, like until we get that, there's no point in meeting again.
Got it. I think that makes sense. So great. I'll make sure to set aside some time for next Friday.
Great.
And I'll put a time in your calendar just to give you a quick call, touch base.
Sure.
And if there are any difficulties I'm having or Susan's having, that'll be a good time just to kind of make sure we're on the same page.
Perfect. Hopefully it's before Friday, but
Sounds great. I agree. What's a good time for me to give you a call on that Friday?
7:30 is good. Try and catch me first thing.
Okay. 7:30 a.m. I'll put that in your calendar. All right, Bates. Well, I don't want to keep you from your next meeting, but is there anything else I can do for you today?
No, I think we're good.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time. Really
Thank
great
you.
meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
All right.